preparing yourself and your family, the second one, or 2.0, or additional, whatever you want to call it. As I did my last one, the first one, I've gotten some feedback. I've gotten some people saying, well, I would have liked to have to mention this or mention that, or maybe you should have went a little further into this subject or that subject. And I took it and I was like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't know why I didn't mention XYZ, because we do XYZ, or prepare for XYZ. I don't know why I didn't. So I did, miss a few things that I wanted to address last time in the video. So this is a 2.0 with some of the stuff I feel I left out, and others that asked me say, could you do a little more on this? So that's what I'm doing here. So the first thing is that as this is going, I always tell people, and I've always think about with the family, that you're not preparing for the end of the world. You're preparing for stuff in case it happens. The same reason people buy insurance. It's in case it happens, because if something does happen, you're sort of prepared. And what does prepared do? It takes that fear away. So because you're prepared, if something unforeseen happens, you don't have all that fear and all that havoc of saying, what am I going to do now? I don't know what to do. You're throwing your hands up. So it could be something like someone losing a job. It could be something as to someone being, hurt, gets sick, becomes disabled. All those things factor in this too. If you're prepared for something, if something happens, you have that. It's there, so you don't have it and you're wondering what I'm going to do now. So that could go along all forms. And primarily why I'm doing these and why my family has been with this is because what we sort of feel or see or read that may be coming with the shutting down of, the gas lines, the shutting down of the grocery stores, the chains, the ways to get stuff from here to there, the whole flow of it, the distribution, shutting down. I've heard talks of the internet, whether that's just temporarily or for an extended period of time. Same with the energy in your home, making stuff that you're not going to be able to get for food, that kind of stuff. So in those situations too, I instead of waiting until it happens or hoping it doesn't happen, but if it happens, then what are you going to do? So that's why I do these. So I did the second one here because the first one, like I told other people, I have missed some things I wanted to touch on, and I got that pointed out to me saying, why didn't you include this or why didn't you include that? And other people saying, I wish you would have covered XYZ. So I'm here now, I'm doing it. This is what I got. I'm going to try to make this shorter, stop my rambling. So anyways, one of the major things that I always think about and I always try to add, and I missed out last time, I forgot about this, matches and lighters. Matches and lighters I think are going to be essential, especially if you have access to wood. Wood's a good thing too. To keep yourself warm or to cook food if you need be. It might be for a couple of days, it might be for an extended period of time. So that's always good to have. They always can be used for a multitude of things. Also, stocking up on seeds. I mentioned last time of gardening, different ways you can garden, and in pots, or doing, your extended gardening and with black dirt and hay bales, that kind of stuff. Or if you're just doing sprouts, if you're in a really small apartment with a few roommates, and that's all you have room for. So on that level, on that note, seeds. I think seeds are essential. So if you're gardening and your vegetation is producing seeds, save what it did for that year, for that harvest. Save what you can. Dry it, keep it in a dry, dark place. If you don't, and are not doing that, you don't have the room for that kind of stuff, and you're just doing the sprouts thing, whatever, stock up on seeds. They're cheap. They're easy to get right now. Doesn't mean they're always going to be easy to get. I know early 2020, there was a few states that were shutting down the ability to buy seeds because it wasn't essential. So that's a topic for a different time, but it has happened and it may happen again. So I would just say stock up. Don't take up much room. They're very cheap. And just keep them dry, the best you can. I also, so where you're living, if you're in a community, if you're in a rural area, if you're in an apartment complex, whatever, try to get some sort of community going. Identify neighbors around you that will be there, that can help, that you can help, that have some of the skills that you may not have. They might have some of the skills that you have. A lot of those maybe are medical degrees, nurses, even doctors, firemen, your first responders, paramedics, nurse practitioners, I guess, to be more specialized, and someone mechanical, someone who can work on your automobiles or can at least help you or give you tips or maybe have tools that you can use at a time if needed. That goes along with farmers, like I said last time, maybe someone who knows computers, someone who could help if you have an issue with your computer. Just whether it's so simple or it's more involved, fix that needs to happen. Maybe just reach out. Maybe someone knows someone that if you need to, you can start this little community, reach out, get it, because that is just going to come in handy and it's really going to help with that fear also, or the I don't know what I'm going to do, or what can I do now, because you have no answers. Start it now. Just start growing it. Also, you want to, I would say, get familiarized with firearms, whether you believe them or not. At least familiarize yourself with them. If you want to get one or two or 10, whatever, just because taking, and getting knowledge of it and making yourself aware of it and getting familiar with it takes that fear away of what it actually is, too. That goes with any tools. That goes with anything. It seems like almost everything's scary. The things that you know least of, those are the most scary. The less you know, the more scary they are. The more you get accustomed to it, the more you learn, that fear goes away. And sometimes it just goes away forever because you might have learned that much. A decent generator. If you got, whether it's a small generator, small amp generator, enough that you just lug around and you need to do that. It runs off gas. I know there's solar ones too. I'm not that familiar with how long the solar ones last, that kind of stuff. So I do some digging into that. But we just have gas generators. And so it's enough in case your power goes out, let's say 7 days. This generator, you can run it as long as you have enough gas, like I talked about last time. Then run it if your freezer or your fridge has been out for hours, a day, or half a day, or you get to the point where you're like, well, this stuff's going to melt, or all the ice is going to melt, or everything in there is going to spoil. Just start that generator up, run an extension cord to it, or whatever you got to do, and plug it in for a few hours, half a day, whatever. If you got to do it to 2, take shifts, 7 hours on one, 7 hours on the other, whatever. At least you got that, because if you don't have it, if it comes down to it, and you're out 7 days, you're out 10 days, what's going to happen to all that food? Whether it's your frozen meat, frozen whatever you have, or the stuff in the refrigerator, all that goes to waste. So what is that? It's going to cost money to replace all that stuff. And if you're not in a situation where you can, or you want to, and I'm sure a lot of people are not, the best thing to do is prepare for that. Then you have it. You don't have to use it if you don't need it. But if you need it, you're going to be happy you have it. They're not that expensive, really, in the scheme of things. If you have, I'm going to throw numbers out there, $500 worth of meat in your freezer, let's just say, or something else in your freezer, and you lose all that because you didn't have that generator to do it, well, you just lost $400 or $500. Or you could have spent $200-$300, got yourself a generator beforehand, and then if you need it, you have it. You can run it and save that food, save that loss that you may have endured. And also on a bigger spectrum, there's a whole home generator. So you can take it, and it's quite a bit more money, and it can hook up and it can operate. In case your power goes out, it will, by a switch itself, it just automatically switches over to the generator, and it will run everything inside your home for an extended period of time, as long as you have your propane or your natural gas, whatever it's hooked up to. As long as you have that to last, you can run that, no problem. And if you're working from home, you're not located close to where your business is, and power goes out for 4 to 5 days, and you can't work, you're losing money. And on a really bad scenario, you might lose your job, you lose your position. Well, that whole home generator will prevent that, because if power's out in your area, you're still able to do what you need to do, work-wise, and then also with all the other appliances, that kind of stuff for your family. But this was real quick. I just want to touch on some points that I had missed, and I just hope that people are getting something from this stuff, and whether you agree with it or not, maybe pass this along to someone else who might, if you don't, or if you do, pass it along to someone else. I'm just doing this stuff to try to help people, and just trying to get people so they're not in that situation where they don't have any idea or don't know what to do. But as always, if you like this, hit the like, share it, subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, protect yourself, protect your family, protect your health, and protect your wealth.